What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me. You are in the zone, the gaming zone with Lacan, and we are back in Frost Survival VR. So we left off with the last one. We just got finished doing, before I say anything again, I'm going to put out another spoiler alert because we're going to try to get the boat going and escape this frosted, icy, snowy island, and try to get ourselves back to civilization. So we're going to do that. We needed to repair our boat, which is, I believe, down in this area here. Yes. So we're going to run down there. I thought about it after I finished the last video. The mast currently is the thing that is highlighted. It's possible, since I know for sure the wire is another thing that does need to be added on there, but it's not highlighted. Maybe as I put the materials in for the things, it'll highlight the next thing that I need to do. Maybe. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully it works. Otherwise, I'm going to have to try to figure out what I need to do. I kind of think like if the holes in the hull are ones that we have to fix. If that's the case, I'd imagine that those iron plates are going to be the things that we use. So if the mass finishing that doesn't get us to the next point, that's the next thing I'll do is I'll see if I can patch those holes with some plates. I was going to take some string with me, some string. Dang it. I was going to take some string with me. And what else do we think we need? You think we need sticks at all? Certainly we won't need rocks. I'll take these ropes with me. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and take the ropes. Plates. If I got room, let's go ahead and clear up some room here. What is this? This boar. Boar, wolf, I think. Bear. And we come over here, we got rabbit, leopard, and deer. This is bear, so that's bear. So I got room to put a couple in there. And now I have room for no more. Oh, well, okay. So I am kind of disappointed because I didn't get to really experience. Oh, whoa, look at this. I wonder why these aren't growing up here. I got the water bottle on me. Do they still need water? Yep. Doesn't look like there's anything in that one. Okay. And we get water on those, but it looks like the garlic is ready to go. Maybe even the parsley. Looks like there's 3 of them that you can get, and maybe 2 garlic for one. That's not bad. Not bad. Okay. this back up. Put that back on the back. And we'll take this, move it here, because I think the plate takes up quite a few slots. Yeah. Whoops. Okay, you're gonna be stubborn. Just put you in that way. Okay. And I think the 5 is going to be all I can get for right now. So I'm going to get this going. Get another plate going. Or another ingot. And I'll just have this here ready. I don't even know for sure, like I said, if I'm going to need those. So, let's see. So if can I grab this? Yes, I can. So we got two garlic from the one. And then parsley, we got 1, 2, and 3, it looks like. That looks empty. It was. How about up here? No, we got those filled up. And I guess we'll take that and we'll put that back in there. We'll see if they grow. Put you here. Put you here. Oh. There. Okay. I think we are set. We got our gun, we got our bullets. We don't really have anything on our hip, so I guess we can go ahead and get the gun. The rifle, put it there. And then we'll go ahead and take this to help us chop down a tree a little faster. All right, so I'm gonna head over there and I will I'll head over there and then I'll be right back. All right, so as I was heading out, nightfall was coming. So I went ahead and just took care of like some of my hunger and my thirst and all that stuff. But I needed to come back out up here to the cabin on the 3rd tier or the 3rd level to report the bugs for the glitch trees over there. So I wanted to get that on the map so that they could see exactly where it was. But I figured while I was up here, if we could find one pretty easily, so I don't really have ice picks on me. I wanted to see what kind of damage this did to the bears. I can hit them. Okay. Okay. I am not hitting them, or let me aim a little. Try to aim just a little bit. Yes. I don't know if I'm hitting it, or if I am hitting it, and it's just taking that much. Okay. So either Sorry, buddy. Either it took 4 shots to take the bear out, or I only got a couple of shots, good shots in. I don't know. It didn't seem like it did that much more damage than my bows did. It was a little bit kind of cool. I like the reloading. I like the reloading. They did a good job with that. But yeah, I'm not sure that that was really much more powerful than the bow was. But it could have been just me. I maybe wasn't hitting it at the critical points. Or at all. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and head down. And we're going to get to the boat. And finally get there and get this boat built. So I'll be right back. Okay. Made a pit stop back at the place just to get some water, some food. And I went to go check on the vegetables, and it looks like the bottom ones, they're superstars. They're growing so fast, except for these two right here. They've been in there for a while and haven't grown yet. So it looks like I have some sage, at least 2 sage, parsley, and I was gonna say onions, garlic, all at the top there. And they're not doing a really good job growing. I know this thing is supposed to speed up the growth cycle, but it doesn't look like that is the case. So, anyways, off to what we were going to do, what we came to do. Okay, we are here, finally, at the boat. So, I did look into it a little bit more. Well, I looked into the crafting book for the tool station. Let's put the knife up. We'll put you here. And just to look at the damage for the gun compared to the other ranged weapons. So, okay, now I see, look. It says 3 logs. I didn't see that before. Is that because I'm carrying the log? Go away. Oh, I just got to stand in the right spot. I see a tooltip now. That's awesome. Okay, so I know we need 3 logs. Does it say it for anything else? No, so it may still be right. I may need to get this thing finished before it'll tell me what I need for the next. Very cool. I was a little worried that I was going to need rope for that. Oh, nope, I do. Okay, does it tell me? No. Is there a way to climb up there? Okay. There it was. I saw it. There it is. I need 8 string. I definitely don't have 8 string, so I'm gonna have to make another trip. Yeah, 4. So we got some string to make. I didn't know for sure if I was going to need that, but hey, look, we're getting somewhere. Now we know, we see what we need. Okay, but I do think it is that we need to get to the next thing, because you see these things here. I wonder, these may be something that we have to take care of as well. maybe we'll see for sure that thing. But okay, I'll head back and get that. But anyways, I was telling you about the guns. So the gun is 300 damage, which is more than the bow and the crossbow. The bow is 160 damage plus 40 for the arrow, so 200 total between the two. The crossbow is 220 damage plus 40 from the arrows, so 260 total. So it's not too far off from the gun. It's probably more likely that my aims weren't great. Got that one. Okay, since I realized that running back and forth is going to be a pain in the butt, I went ahead and just brought a bunch of materials just to have. I didn't really have room to grab sticks, so this is pretty much the only thing, sticks and stones, only thing that I hadn't really brought with me. But I went ahead and grabbed some flax, I grabbed some resin. I was only able to carry the 4 or the 5 plates that I have on me, so I wasn't able to get any more. So if I need more, which I probably will, probably should have went. Well, I mean, if I knew, I don't really have the space to carry it. So, yeah. So I went ahead and got as much material as I could, just to try to limit the amount of back and forth that I'm going to have to do for this. So we get over there, see how it goes. Be right back. Okay, and we are back to the ship. Hopefully all the rope that we need and the other materials that we need. So let's get on here. I went ahead and pulled out the torch to help with my sanity. Put that away. Maybe I need to go ahead and bring that back out. I didn't realize it was going to be that dark. Okay. So we need 4 more rope. Let's go ahead and toss those in there. String and keep on the rope. There we go. All right, what's next? Oh, it looks like these things are. Oh, yep. And that is sap. That is sap. Okay. So that resin. I keep calling it sap. Sap and resin are different things. Sap, if you didn't know, is more sugary, more runny, used for something completely different than resin. If you didn't know. Hopefully got enough. I'm glad I brought these. I'm so glad I brought these. I would have sucked to have to go on. Well, I still may. It didn't tell me exactly how many of them I needed, but this is 10. That's all of the resin that I brought. I think that's actually all the resin that I had. So if I need more, I'm gonna have to go back out to get it. I don't see any more spots. Okay. Go. Okay. So we do need 1, 2, here, 3. Probably gonna be 6, isn't it? 4, 5. Nope, just 5. Yes. Thank you, devs. Thank you. Cool. So, closing thoughts, just kind of about how I feel about the game and all that. I think it's a fantastic game. I think one of the things that impressed me, surprised me, is that it didn't seem like it was in development for very long. Either it wasn't for very long, or they, had it under wraps while they worked on it. But for it to be such a short amount of time and to come out with as much content in it as it is, I'm very happy with that. That is awesome. This game has been a blast, a ton of fun. Yeah, sure. There are some things that could be improved, and I'll touch on that. My opinions on that. My opinions. I'm definitely not a professional, so I thought that they did just an excellent job with the content. The building of the survival games that I have played. I have not played like Song in the Smoke, but of the survival games that I've played that have been made specifically for VR, survival, sandbox survival games, this to me has been the most, what's the word I'm looking for, the best experience for me. Okay, so now we just need the wire. Nice. I think we're done. I don't think there's anything else for us to do other than just to pull that thing. And I'm not sure if that's going to set us off or not. So I'm going to hold off for a little bit while I muse. I guess I should have been doing this talking while I was running back and forth. That way, once I got finished with that, I could just go. But I didn't, so here we are. Sorry. So, anyways, the survival aspects of this game happen to create your fire, to keep you warm, being able to prepare meals. It's the first game that I played where they got the whole stick on the stick thing working right. I mean, it worked very smoothly. I love the chunkiness of the trees when you go to chop them. I love that feeling of like I'm actually hitting into something. I can't believe that thing is still, oh, does it take that many or? Yeah, it does. Okay. Anyways, I love that feeling of my axe actually feeling like it's being lodged into something. They did a great job with getting that feel. The feel of the cold, being in the environmental feel of the game. The wind trails that you see, the snowflakes falling down. That gives you a very, very good sense of immersion that you're in a cold environment. I love the added touches where you can dip down and scoop up sand or snow. I don't like that. I can't just go and eat it, but I can scoop it up. I can put it in a bucket. I can melt it and get some water. That's to me just very fantastic. But I feel like they did a great job of getting those survival mechanics in there. In games that I played, and I've mentioned this before in one of my other videos, there's no real purpose to building. Most of the story is linear, and this story was still fairly linear. There was no real like side paths that you could take, no alternate directions that you can go with it. It was very, very straightforward, with the only change up really being the order that you actually find the different notes and you hear that bit of the story, which was probably a little bit more disruptive than anything, because you've progressed the story or what you know of the story this far, and then he kind of takes a step back and talks about something that you've already moved on from. But for the most part, most of the games that I played have been very, very linear. So there's really no need for a house build, an outpost, or anything like that, because you're progressing past that. You don't need to. I just need the one. I just need one. Why didn't I take this? Now I need the string. Anyway, distracted. So going and building a house was really more just of it was almost like a technical or a fun thing that you could do. It didn't really serve too much purpose. Even in flat games where they do great job with sandbox style games, the whole purpose of the base is to have a place to come back to so that you can go back out and do all the things that you need to do. You come back to your base, you take care of some of the needs, you grow the base, however that looks, and then you go back out. But the base is still a central key point for you to come back to, so it's important to have it. What other games don't typically do, I've seen it more and more in some survival games, decoration serves absolutely no purpose outside of just you wanting to make your place look pretty. But other than that, there's like really no purpose to it. Here, I love the fact that they gave it that sense of purpose, and a purpose that actually makes sense. Like you're out here alone, fighting for survival. Things are trying to kill you or eat you. Like you come to your central point, your base of operations, your refuge, and you recuperate. You get your sanity back, and the furniture, the decorations help aid in building your sanity up. I thought that was fantastic. Going out, the survival aspects of going out, having to worry about and constantly watch your temperature. Is it getting too cold? What does the weather forecast look like? Is it windy? Is it foggy? What is my temperature in the area? Worrying about that stuff in addition to your thirst and your hunger. Like, it gave me a really good sense of me being in a survival game. Didn't I drink something? Sorry. I enjoyed the fun of going to new areas and discovering ways to make it to those other areas, and then being able to discover the resources that I can now use in those areas, and then what that unlocks for me. That was very fun, um, for me, exciting, to be able to do that discovery. I do wish, however, that there was more in the way of rewarding people who like to explore a little bit. Um, you know, this is kind of the thing that I touched on with regards to linear gameplay. Um, you had to find the stuff. Everything that you needed was um, was essentially scripted. It's like stuff you had to find it to progress. There was no like real hidden material or hidden resource or something that you can now use to maybe upgrade the effectiveness of your axe, or a new type of material, nor a new way to, instead of making your axe out of stone, you just found flint. Well, I guess they did have that. I guess that was in there. But I mean, just having like a more availability of material to kind of liven up the exploration aspect of the game, discovering new things and how to use them, would have been nice. But everything was kind of you found what you needed in order to progress. Specifically for the progression. I was hoping to bring some food along with me, but it doesn't look like it. Anyways. But that kind of leads me then to the story. And I would say it's probably the one aspect that I probably was a little bit more disappointed in. And that was mostly because not really so much the story. I felt like the story definitely could have been better. I think there was enough to it to kind of make me compelled to see. It made me more compelled to figure out what happened to this man that left these notes. Will we ever find him? Will he get off? Like, is he already off and gone? And he left this information for us to find in case we were in the same situation. Was he still here? They did a decent job with the story, that character development, to make me at least somewhat compelled enough to figure out to want to know what happened to this guy. It also made me compelled enough to want to try to save the dude. He had a family that he had been fighting for 3 years. I had a healing concoction that I could make. Why couldn't I just take it and just pop it right there in his mouth, let him chew it, and heal him? And then we get on this boat and we escape together, and he gets to go back to his family. It would have been awesome if there was at least some level of options with regard to the end game. I do feel like we did get to that end game a little quick. I had hours of gameplay in here. Hours of gameplay. I do feel like I really got my money's worth out of what I experienced here. And I still feel compelled to play with friends to get that experience of multiplayer, even though I've completed the game essentially, or almost completed the game. I still do feel compelled, like I want to play the game with friends and try out that multiplayer aspect. I do feel like that still would be fun. The game would still be fun to play with that mode. They have a hardcore mode as well, that might make it interesting. I don't know, maybe. I know some people like that. I'm not sure how much I do, but it does give another alternative for gameplay. But like I said, my only real issue with this was really the length of content and the story. Didn't feel like it was like a real full story, and just hearing the story from these note cards that we were finding, instead of having like even just like scripted moments that kind of made this survival exciting, like going to some place and barely dodging an avalanche or something, like just like different like scripted events once you get to those next areas. I think could have livened up things a little bit more, made things more interesting. But overall, all in all, I would say Frost Survival VR has been one of the best sandbox survival experiences that I've had in VR so far. I think it's a fantastic game. And it excites me that there was this much in it at this level. Again, like I said, like I don't know how long they spent in developing with this. I remember hearing about it, and then all of a sudden there was a play test, and then all of a sudden is released. No, it seemed like it really happened fast, and for it to happen as fast as it did, I think they did a great job with it, and it does make me excited for the future of just even this game, or even just the developers of this game, that they have this skill set right now. They're here at this level. Who knows what they can do in the future? What they will bring to us down the road. Hopefully, it's more expansions to this. I definitely would like to see more done with this. I would like to see this expanded on. But if it's not, I feel excited for what they can do down the road in the future. Okay, that's enough of me talking. If you guys stuck through it, I commend you. I commend you. But it is time for us to pull that lever, see what happens. I'm gonna laugh if I pull that lever and then I got something else that I gotta put in. Or if I had to pull the lever and it doesn't work. So let's go ahead and do it. Works.
It was a really strange adventure. I've encountered things I can't even explain, and I've seen things that no one will believe me. I was supposed to spend this time as I always do, at work, immersed in daily duties whose meaning once seemed obvious. And yet, I was ripped from this world and put to the most primal challenge of survival. The man I met proved to me that sometimes, in addition to determination, you also need a little luck in life. He lacked it. It saved me. Maybe it was just a blind lottery. Maybe a whim of fate. Or maybe it was his last act, written down in yellowed notes. Words that guided me through the snowy wilderness, gave me tools I would not have created on my own, pointed out the path I found almost blindly. If not then, I might have been gone long ago, and then neither I nor he would have known of our existence. This opens our eyes to how fragile human life is, how easily we can disappear, not only from someone's memory, but from reality itself. How many things we have we take for granted, and yet it only takes one day, one moment, for everything to be taken away from us. It's a strange feeling, to look at a dying man and see relief in his eyes. Happiness that he could help someone else, a person who was a complete stranger, and yet so close to him in this hopeless situation. When I tell this story, I won't even know his name. That's how lonely and anonymous we were on that island. For others, that's what he will remain, a faceless figure, an element of the story I lived through. And yet for me, he will be someone more. Someone who gave me back what he had most precious. His last thoughts, his knowledge. Maybe one day I will return to this island. May at least the echo of my footsteps remind him one last time that he has not been completely forgotten.
There we go. And that is it. Raw Survival VR, fully complete. 53 days, 54 days. So I could see solo. 54 days to get to this point. I did think that that was weird that this man was lost. And nowhere in the notes and nowhere in the interaction together did they think or consider, hey, what's your name? I'm about to get off of here. You're not going to make it. Who do I need to reach out to tell about your fate? You know, whatever. Raw Survival VR, very fun experience. If you guys have been on the fence about whether or not to get this game, I personally recommend it. I think you should go out, get it. I don't know that graphically that there's much of a difference between the Steam VR version or the Meta Oculus version, but I'd say I pick up one or the other, try it out. You'll have a blast. If you got friends, get them to join it too and play it together. I know you'll have a blast with that. But, well, that's going to be it. Raw Survival VR, fully complete. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please level up this video by hitting that like button. And then if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And then until next time, come back and join us again as we level up together, one game, one video at a time. This is Lacan signing out. Peace out, everybody. Later.